Good afternoon. Welcome back to In the Office with Scott and Wallace. I'm Robert Scott. As you can see, I'm here solo today. But that's okay, because today we're just going to get back to the basics, and I'm going to talk to you a few minutes about personal injury cases, in particular car accident claims. We've talked a lot on these segments about car accident claims, and if you have specific questions, you can go revisit some of those segments, or we're always open to talk to you on the phone. But for purposes of the day, one of the things that I think always worries people when they are faced with having to bring a car accident claim or deciding whether to bring a car accident claim is the moral conflict. I know I'm hurt. I know it wasn't my fault. I'm worried about my medical bills. I'm worried about my lost wages. I'm in a lot of pain, but I don't want to have to sue somebody. And I get that. Whether it be something that you faced morally with how you were brought up, or whether it's a religious implication, it's a decision that has to be made, and one that can be very concerning. And so when we talk about getting back to the basics, I wanted to remind anyone who may be facing that tough decision whether or not to bring a claim, that it's very unlikely that a lawsuit is ever going to be filed in your case. It's just the facts of it. The statistics bear that out. I talked to the judges who work and live in our communities, and they're begging for a trial. They just don't see them too much less lawsuits. And so when we talk about bringing a claim, the way it works is we do everything in our power to resolve the claim with the insurance company through informal negotiations. Certainly, that's the hope, that the claim will resolve informally without ever having to file a lawsuit. That's what we try to do always, because it's going to be the most expedient resolution for our client. It's going to be the way that, if we were able to resolve it, the client can get back on his or her feet and move forward with their lives. And the same with the person who caused the accident. Now, from time to time, lawsuits do have to be filed. It's just the two sides can't agree as to the value of the case. There may be a dispute as to liability. There may be a dispute as to causation. What I mean is, is an injury related to the accident or not? And these things have to be, unfortunately, ferreted out during a discovery process and litigation. But even when that occurs, it's the insurance company who's maintaining all of the decision-making authority on that file. In this day and age, it's a little odd that we still have to sue someone personally when we file a lawsuit. We do have to file a complaint and then have that person served with the lawsuit. But that case is then turned over to very sophisticated insurance companies who I know very well, Clint knows very well, and who will do a good job. But they're paid by the insurance company, and the insurance company maintains all decision-making authority. They're the entity that will decide whether or not to settle the case. They're the entity that will pay a judgment if the case was hypothetically tried to a jury verdict. And so it's out of all the cases we've resolved, not $1 has ever come from someone personally. It's always been through a payment by an insurance company. And so if you're battling those inner demons and that moral conflict, and you want to discuss it with us just forthrightly, then we're always happy to do that. But please, as we get back to the basics, always remember that it's not going to be something where, if you bring a valid claim, that you're going to in any way take personal money or somehow hurt someone's ability to make money by bringing a valid claim. It's going to be an insurance company, and that's what we do every day. So that's your back to the basics. I know that was a little bit of a spiel today, but I'm here solo, so unfortunately I can't banter back and forth with Clint and Matt. But just as a reminder, we handle personal injury cases every single day. Of course, Matt McNamara runs our employment and labor division. He does workers' compensation claims and employment claims. And so if you ever have any questions about anything I've talked about today or at any other time, specifically if it's something that we do is germane to our practice areas, and we are always happy to talk to you at no cost and with no obligation. But with that, I hope everyone has a great rest of your week, and we'll be back with you next week, hopefully with more than just me.